Okay, so with pre-show, man, we were what, 7 hours of the WWE. Oh man, I gotta break out my phone so I can read my notes. Ugh. Okay, so begin with Kalisto versus Ryback as people are filing in. Because, when you're trying to find your seat, it's good to occasionally watch a match going on. I will say Ryback had some really, if you'd actually have to use notes, because this was like freaking like 6 hours of wrestling. I liked that Ryback had some really good displays of power. Like the gorilla press slam walking up the steps with Kalisto, I liked that. The vertical superplex, I liked that. It was good. Kalisto got the victory. Good match, worked well. 10 Diva match, they were smart. They were smart. Lana, very little in ring time. She had a couple of moves, that was it. Ava Marie, hitting one move. So they kept people like Paige, Natalia, Emma, Alicia Fox, but the ones who actually could do moves in there. This again was a match where it really didn't matter what was going on, because we all kind of knew Brie was going to get the victory. So after, of course, they do everyone hits their finisher, because it's time to go home. Brie gets Naomi in the yes lock, gets the victory. Match was competent. Not a great match, but there was no real oh, it's going to be an amazing match. Lana's first time in the ring, she was decent. So, not a bad match. I guess now Brie's done. Nikki came down in the neck brace. She was supposed to get involved, but they're afraid if she takes a bump, her career's over. Makes sense. That's fine. Usos beat the Dudley with the super kick, which then they put the Dudley through a table. Alright, not a bad match. Is it Mania worthy? Maybe not. So, of course, we begin with a ladder match. Owens, sicko with the crowd. Makes sense. He should be. He's amazing. Cody comes out. He's got the polka dots on. Got a polka dot ladder. All right. Cody is on one of the gimmick ladders. You see Sin Cara get pushed off into like a crossbody, which shatters the ladder, and it's like, my God. Zayn has got to where he's on a ladder, and the ladder's on the ropes at an angle. Frog splash by Kevin Owens. Who wants to do this to their body? This match was ridiculously brutal. Like trapped German suplexes onto the ladder. Just pop-up powerbomb. Super kicks everywhere. This match was a car crash if the cars were covered in explosives. And sees the Miz on the ladder like, I'm doing it. I'm reclaiming my trophy. I'm doing this. Knocked off by Ryder. Ryder grabs the title. All right. Unexpected. Initially, Neville was in that spot, but he broke his leg. So Ryder went from doing nothing, essentially, to winning a championship at WrestleMania. Dak comes in the ring, hugs him. Great moment. Everybody happy. I like that. Good, solid opener. AJ, Chris Jericho. You've seen any of their matches? You know they do a great sequence where it's like counter for counter for counter for counter for counter. Great. Loved it. Jericho got the victory off of a phenomenal forearm caught into a code breaker. Good match. Two good hands. Work well. They did a spot where Jericho had Styles in for the Styles Clash, but he reversed it into another move. That seemed kind of awkward. I still do think that the Styles Clash should be like the end-all, be-all finisher that Styles has. And I think he's beaten Axel with it. Jericho's kicked out of it twice. I think he's done it 3 times on television. But, good match. Solid match. 2 in. So far, so good. League of Nations New Day. The match that nobody really cared about. League of Nations won. Afterwards, Austin, Foley, and Michaels came down and cleared house on the League of Nations. Random, but WrestleMania, where the random things happen, because people need paychecks and you gotta pop the crowd. Gotta consult my notes now because I have no idea what my match happened next. Okay. Lesnar Dean Ambrose. Now, I had to write this down because I didn't want to forget it. Does Lesnar have a will to kill tramp stamp? As his shorts came down, I'm like, is that will to kill on his lower back? Lesnar got a tramp stamp? Okay. Ambrose broke out the chainsaw. Didn't get to use it. Cut the barbed baseball bat. Didn't get to use it. Instead, beat Lesnar with kendo sticks, chairs, random objects. Lesnar was busted. You could tell he had marks all up and down his body. Same with Ambrose. Lots of action. These two wailed the crap out of each other. It was man versus God, but the man had brought enough tools to be one-on-one with the Beast, the Conqueror, the Destroyer. That is Brock Lesnar. Lesnar hits an FI onto a pile of chairs to get the victory. Solid match. Good stuff. WWE Women's Championship. I had to write this down. Because Sasha comes down with Snoop Dogg, her cousin, in Eddie Guerrero inspired ring gear. Does some Eddie Guerrero style spots. Alright. Charlotte comes down in bits and pieces of the retirement robe of Ric Flair. This match was probably one of the best women's matches I've ever seen on the main roster. However, I think Sasha needs to slow down a couple of seconds in the ring. They did a spot where it looked like they were going to do a sunset flip, which would then have given Becky Lynch the momentum to do a German suplex. I can't tell if it was Sasha was out of place or Becky was out of place. It's a spot that's really tough to do, and probably would have looked awkward if they would have hit it. But they missed. You're like, all right. Sasha goes for a suicide dive. And it looks like she either like taps the rope because you see her lose momentum, and then she goes into a forward flip to finish it off. And it's like, Sasha, last week you did that spot, you took on Bayley, and everyone thought you had your head because you were really close to injuring yourself. We love you, Sasha. Do not have a career like Daniel Bryan. If you need to, take a couple of seconds. You don't need to go 1,000 miles an hour. 900 miles an hour is plenty. But this match had everything. Tremendous back and forth. With the announcer actually pushing up. This is important because there's no rope breaks. There's no DQs. So if you're in a submission hold, you have that third person comes, breaks it up. Good. Great back and forth. This was the match for the first WWE Women's Championship. Looks like the men's belt, but it's white. With a red background for the logo. Looks awesome. It looks like a belt that somebody should wear who is a professional athlete. Not the butterfly belt. Not the tramp stamp belt. So they put on a fantastic match. Ending was kind of awkward. After a tremendous, I get you into submission, you submission me out of submission, I submission you into submission. I put you into submission, you submission me out. Just beautiful, three people working together in unison, submissioning out of submission. Brilliant. So it comes down to Charlotte having Becky Lynch in a submission. Figure 8. Sasha's going to make the save. Ric Flair grabs hold of Sasha. Sasha can't make it and Becky taps. Sasha wins. Charlotte wins. Okay. It felt like this was going to be Sasha's coronation moment, and it should have been to really solidify her. But, not bad. I hope they don't call up Bayley tomorrow night and then try to do a Bayley, Charlotte, and then have Sasha and Becky kind of be on the periphery. They've got those three, which is plenty. They can do so much with those three, especially now with a new title. The Bella's pretty much effectively gone. Nikki probably back to maybe SummerSlam, if never. They've got what they needed. They've got a good framework. They can move forward with simple, effective, non-catty. Women be crazy, yo. They can't get together. Storylines make it work. So, match was good. Outcome was kind of, okay. It works. Help tell a story, but man, I felt like that was Sasha's coronating moment. But she's still undefeated. So, get that. The Shane McMahon Undertaker match. This is the second time a mortal took on essentially a god. And Taker had to sell everything that Shane did. Now a DT onto the ring steps makes sense. Of course, they bust her out of the cage because, Shane got a dive. Dives to the top of the cage, misses Taker, blows up a table. Taker rolls him in the ring, hits a tombstone. For a match that was like, all right, this is the here's your gift. Here's your moment of the night. But we had a match like a little while ago that was a wrestler taking on the near indestructible Brock Lesnar in a no-holds-barred street fight. And now you do a street fight in a cage with a guy who's not a wrestler versus The Undertaker. So kudos to Shane for dying for the sins of the WWE Universe, but okay, I guess. Think they would do it at the Battle Royal? Okay, now into the Battle Royal. Featuring Shaq, Tatanka, DDP, and Baron Corbin. Okay. They let out Sandow pretty quickly because, you gotta piss the fans off. So it comes down to Corbin and Kane. Because Kane has to look strong in every Battle Royal. Corbin wins. Awesome. Does Corbin get the call up? Corbin's new character of like, screw you, you were in the Indies. Go back to Shikara. Whatever it's called. Go back to Ring of Honor. Love that. That's so great. He's got a great, fantastic presence. Amazing look. He just needs a little more seasoning. He's It Factor. It Factor personified. Love me some Baron Corbin. Big thing, if you're to get like main roster jacked, just a little bit more tone, freaking print money. So glad that maybe he might get something from it. Cesaro won it, and they squandered any goodwill. Big Show won it, and whatever. Corbin wins it now. Cool. If you don't want to give it to Mark Henry, give it to someone that and build them up. Whether he stays in NXT and use that for a good run, doesn't matter. Use it to build somebody. Baron Corbin has got a lot of good upward potential. And he would be one of the very few entirely 100% homegrown NXT superstars to make it on the main roster. Everyone else had some sort of legitimate training, except for Roman Reigns. But good. Do something with it. You've got the start of a story, put it in the middle, give it a good end, just make it frickin' work. Dallas Cowboy Chili's come out, Rock comes out, Rock does the Rock thing, then Bray Wyatt comes out. Alright. Here we go. Should be good. Let's do this. Rock makes puts over Bray. He's like, you've got everything you need. You got the talent, you got the charisma. Good. Fantastic. And he's like, oh, Rock, I've come in to eviscerate you, man. And then The Rock is like, you've been in the bomb for like 8 days. So you're the eater of worlds. Whoa. You're the eater of hot pockets. Like you, Eric Rowan. I can tell your parents are related. Runs them down. And The Rock's like, no, this isn't going to be a fight. It's going to be a match. Strips his gear off like Magic Mike. He's got his Rock trunks on. Faces off against Eric Rowan because why not? And Rock bottom 1, 2, 3. 6 seconds later, The Rock has defeated Eric Rowan to make a new WrestleMania record, which I think would surpass the record of Chavo Guerrero dropping the ECW title to Kane in like 8 seconds, something like that. All right. Strowman and Wyatt circle the ring. Noticeably smaller John Cena because he's injured. He can't come down like mini Hulk. He comes down like intermediate Bruce Banner Hulk, not quite fully transformed. So he doesn't come down like Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He comes down like, like regular Goku. They clean house because, why not? You gotta just screw Bray Wyatt. I don't get. They've got a guy who has been one of the most over superstars, and for some strange reason, they have to constantly stroke the ego of part-timers, or make John look strong by destroying Bray Wyatt. Vince should eventually realize that in constantly doing this, by the time Bray actually wins something, it's not going to matter. You have damaged that character so much. The crowd loves him because he's fantastic at what he does. That's like Dean Ambrose. The crowd loves Dean Ambrose because he's great at what he does. And I think that leads us into what felt like the 2.5 hour long main event. We begin with a field of people in business with metal things stapled to their mouths, which seemed really weird. And then we go up to the skull crown, and it's Stephanie in a Mil Muerte sort of chair, but dressed like Beyonce. Screams her whole weird thing. I'm like, oh, someone's been watching Lucha Underground. And then H comes down with a Skull Army, all carrying championship belts. I'm like, all right. Long. Then Roman comes down with no fanfare because he gets booed. He then does the and the firework. So he does the firework fist. And then what begins is probably one of the most slow, methodical, dull matches I've seen in quite some time. And then it hit me. I know why. I saw this match before. WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. Triple H was heavily favored by the crowd, as the crowd relentlessly booed John Cena. I know because I was there. Oh, speaking of, you like the crown? Like the crown. This is actually leather and sheet metal. I made this thing a long time ago. I used to wear this to wrestling events. I also got to wear this during my wedding when we did the processional thing. We came down to Ric Flair's theme song. It was played by a jazz band. I got to write the whole thing, so I got to come down as the cerebral assassin. My wife came down as the heartbreak kid. So I was able to work Triple H paraphernalia, Triple H information. I came to rocking both titles like when he beat Jericho. And then my wife come down and join me in a very similar fashion as Shawn Michaels. So I saw this match before, and when you saw it live, and people vehemently hated John Cena because they knew he was going to win, and this match just freaking dragged on. I got to the point where I was watching it live. I started watching WrestleMania at a little after 7. I brewed through the pre-show, and when they do the whole video packages, I'll watch some of it, but I skip through it. The commercials I skip through. And I'm like, I'm watching this match live now? I got through all the pre-show stuff. Or I just watched the matches because I care a little bit. Like I saw Lita show the title because I wanted to see that. I got through all of that. All the promo packets. All the, so-and-so is going to sing. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Oh, look, here's Dallas Cowboy Chief. We're going to do that. Man. This could have been a really solid 4 hours instead of 6.5 going on 7. The Roman Reigns Triple H match, I did not care. And I was watching going, and they're like, Is it no DQ match? No? Alright. Steph pulled the ref out of the ring. That should be a DQ. Steph is in the ring. That should be a DQ. Steph gets speared by Roman Reigns. Alright. Barry with Triple H. 1, 2, dang it. 70 times Triple H a sledgehammer. He tried to use it. What my DQ at? No. Roman Reigns is gonna hit like a 2-rope spear. Spear. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Watch for a few more minutes. We can see beatdown. Someone's gonna come down. Someone do something. No. So for recap, Owens lost his title. AJ lost his match. Eric Rowan gets to be part of history and being destroyed by The Rock. And the Wyatts got destroyed by Rock and John Cena. Corbin won the Battle Royal. I mean, that's unexpected. Zack Ryder, new IC champ. Okay. See where that goes. Maybe this now means that Kevin Owens will feud with, well, Kevin Owens will be fed to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns beat Triple H because, man, they can't get that guy over. Lesnar won because, you know, it makes sense for Lesnar to win that match. Taker beat Shane because there was no reason for Shane to win except for to change everything, but Roman winning changes everything. Maybe, I don't know. This build-up didn't feel like WrestleMania at all. It didn't. The pay-per-view had some moments where you're like, WrestleMania moment. And then it kind of got drowned out in the next, you know, like hour and a half, 2 hours. This event is way too freaking long. I looked at tickets. I could have got 2 tickets for about $400 to $500. Now, and I had spent like $2,000 on one of these tickets. I think I really need to re-examine my life. Spent like $2,000 to throw away an event that watching it from home was exhausting. I could imagine physically being there. You would just be like, dude, just freaking hit the spear and pin him already. It's hard to keep a crowd going for freaking a 3-hour Raw with a 1 hour a little bit before it. Oh, man, you see that mark from where the... If you don't want to know, the inside of this is just there's no pad. It's just sheet metal. So that little bit of that little bit of mark there is pretty much just like my skin. So man, but goes away in a little bit. I'm like Vision in the comics. But man, this was rough. But they've got Raw to make up for it. Raw that we'll probably be able to watch in, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Skim through all the random treatle. Vince does not make it easy to continue to enjoy the WWE. But we have Triple H to make sure we enjoy NXT.